Hello Varlets. In this video, I'm going to share my Cadian-themed build that I've been using while testing out the Lasguns. You'll learn how I built my veteran to be as close to the Cadian shock trooper as possible, why I've chosen the build I have put together, and how it all feels when put into practice. So let's get it on. For those who aren't familiar, the Cadian shock troopers are the highly disciplined soldiers from the fortress world of CADIA. Because they are situated at the edge of the Eye of Terror, CADIA has withstood for 10,000 years against the constant assault from the forces of chaos, up until Abaddon dropped his Blackstone fortress on the planet and literally broke it apart. So, taking the unrelenting and unbreaking spirit of the Cadians into account, I wanted to theme this build as close as possible to them, starting with the look of course. Now, I got a comment on my last video wishing that the cosmetics on this thumbnail were real, and it is. This set is part of the Trooper Garant Juker set. It comes with the Gate Pattern Shock Trooper helmet, the Heavy Flag Armor Relic of CADIA top, and the Militarum Battle Gear Cadian 802nd for the pants. This whole set of cosmetics is still available as of me making this video, but it's expected to go away pretty soon, so do pick it up if you really like the Cadian aesthetics. Next, we have the weapon loadout. For our ranged weapon, we'll be using the Cantrell Mark 7. The Cantrell pattern lasguns are a common outfit among Cadians, so feel free to use whichever mark you want. I did a video breakdown on the recent buffs that the lasguns received, so watch that if you want to keep yourself informed of what actually happened to them. I'm using the Mark 7 because it's a nice balance of damage and fire rate, allowing me to better hit some breakpoints that the Mark 2B would need 2 shots for, but also has a better chance at gunning down rushing threats that the Mark 9 would struggle with. For perks, I've chosen flak damage to deal with shooters and gunners, but having flak is also important because we can't effectively deal with carapace armor, which both maulers and plasma gunners have. As a result, we'll have to aim for their body, which is covered in flak armor, to deal damage from afar. I have also chosen maniac damage to better deal with flamers, mutants, and ragers, all high priority targets that need to be dispatched as soon as possible since they can break your ranks easily. For blessings, I was experimenting with different choices, using the go-to of Headhunter and Deadly Accurate for powerful damage synergy. While this is a strong combo, I felt that taking Ghosts instead of Deadly Accurate allowed me to better hold my ground and continue firing into groups of shooters without worry. The brief 1.2 second window of range attack immunity makes it incredibly hard for even groups of gunners to weather you down with continuous fire. Taking advantage of the fact that the veteran is immune to suppression by default, it means you can pop out of cover to land a single headshot and you'll have enough time to keep clicking heads to maintain your immunity. This blessing is part of a greater synergy with the rest of the build. Headhunter is just a very strong blessing that allows us to consistently take advantage of the lasgun's innately high finesse multipliers. For our melee weapon, I've chosen the Catachan Mark III Combat Knife. As I understand it, the combat knife is a standard issue piece of equipment in the Cadian's war gear, so we'll be using our knife as our melee defense and mobility tool. Since we'll be whipping out the knife when we have to deal with crushers when they get too close, we'll be taking carapace damage. I've also chosen the +2 stamina perk, which will give you more blocking power for block attacks as well as a longer sprint. We intend to be using our lasgun as often as possible and only whip out our knife when we really have to. For blessings, I've chosen Uncanny Strike for the rending against crushers and Mercy Killer for the bonus weak spot damage against bleeding enemies. Together, this combination of blessings, along with our full talent tree, makes dealing with crushers and hordes very manageable. Finally, for Curios, I like taking a combination of 2 toughness and 1 health. This gives me enough health to survive an unfortunate Poxbuster explosion and also gives lots of toughness to leverage with our talents. For the Curio perks, I've gone for 3 combat ability regen, 2 toughness, 2 revive speed, and 2 stamina regen. This mix gives me a good combination of survivability, the ability to sustain, and being able to help teammates in a pinch. Remember that revive speed also helps you free teammates from nets and pick them up from ledges faster too. With our look and loadout covered, let's talk about talents. The idea of a Cadian trooper unflinchingly withstanding withering fire and gunning back without fear is what guided the talent path. This is also why I chose the Ghost Blessing for my lasgun. Here is the whole talent tree. The notable notes that I've chosen are Exhilarating Takedown for the nice toughness regen and DR when we get weak spot kills. This is something we'd want to focus on since both Headhunter and Ghost work off headshots as well. This build will be taking crack grenades as part of our Cadian kit. We'll be using this for carapace busting and dealing damage to monsters. We'll need to pick up Grenade Tinkerer for the added damage in addition to Superiority Complex and bring it down to be able to reach the 1-shot threshold for crushers on Havoc 40. Withering Fire is an excellent addition to the veteran's talent tree because this talent allows very many of their weapons to now pierce 1 additional target, doubling the effective power of your ranged weapons. This lets your lasgun actually mow down incoming hordes if you aim well enough, something that it used to struggle with before the addition of this talent. We're also taking Serrated Blade simply because it allows us to activate Mercy Killer on our knife when we are dealing with crushers. Uncanny Strike also means that the bleed damage we're dishing out is going to hurt a lot. Survivalist for ammo sustain for the whole team. You can switch this out for something else if there's already another vet with Survivalist. This build will, unsurprisingly, be using Voice of Command along with Duty and Honor. Effective lasgun usage requires some space, and Voice of Command can provide us with just that. Plus, having a Cadian yelling for CADIA or CADIA stands is on brand. I would have liked to take the Revive talent because the idea of a Cadian yelling about CADIA at you the whole time forces you to get up so that he'll shut up about it. This talent can come in clutch, but I'm very used to playing without the Revive perk, so I can make do without it. We'll also be heading towards the Marksman Focus Keystone, taking advantage of our increased critical rate with Headhunter. Having this keystone is also another reason why I felt going for Deadly Accurate would have been a bit of a waste, since we are already building into more finesse damage, and so the opportunity cost would be giving up more survivability via Ghost. Having long-ranged Assassin pushes up our total range finesse damage from Marksman Focus up to 112.5%, as well as gives us a 15% reload speed. This replaces the entire need for Deadly Accurate in my opinion. Lastly, we're also taking Shock Trooper because, well, we're a Cadian Shock Trooper. Jokes aside, this allows us to further sustain our ammo economy even in the face of overwhelming odds and synergizes with the Headhunter blessing too. Altogether, the weapon loadout and the talent tree path is designed around scoring headshots. You regenerate toughness when you get a headshot. You get toughness damage reduction when you get a headshot. You briefly become immune to range damage when you get a headshot. You get more crit chance when you get a headshot, and when you crit, your shots cost no ammo, which allows you to keep clicking hits and reap all the benefits for longer. Marksman's Focus makes clicking hits very painful and rewards you with faster reload time, which improves your uptime for clicking more hits. And if you can't click hits, then whip out your knife and stab them instead. What follows this will be some gameplay of the build in action. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one, Varlets.
Neutralize it! Watch the shadows! We'll be anything out there!